It's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with the Coach. Let's check the questions today. We have a question from IKCA Kenpo Man, who says, Coach, what about the weapon-based martial arts systems? A collapsible baton never failed me when I used it with my eskrima. What about weapon-based martial arts? Let's think about that for a bit. Now, if you're new to this channel, I am a combat sports coach. I coach the sport of mixed martial arts. I've also coached boxers and kickboxers and submission grapplers. Now, I've trained with weapons. I'm surrounded by weapons. Actually, I got a bunch of them. Got some brass knuckles here. One for each hand, just right over there on the desk. Paperweights, guys. They're paperweights. A lot of people live in areas where it is illegal to acquire brass knuckles for whatever reason. You can get them in China. No problem. Can you use them in China? On the other hand, that's another question. Self-defense laws, a good study of those is what real self-defense is. To be honest, self-defense, remember, is a legal term. So, I'm not what I would describe as a weapons expert, but I certainly am an enthusiast. What else do I have? I got a sword over here, Chinese straight sword. It's a real one, not one of those bendy, wiggly ones. That one's sharp. Razor edge. What else? I got my Shaolin spears over there on the walls. I've got a staff. I've got my Okinawan Kobudo weapons, the sai, right? A lot of people think that a sai is only meant to poke with this end, but you got to notice, an octagonal sai is blunt at the end, and this end right here, if you're not familiar with Kobudo, this is one of the primary striking points of the sai. Frame it against the hand there, against the index finger, boom, strike with that thing. Anyway, we are getting aside the point. What else do I have? I've got a Japanese kunai over here in my drawer, one of those weapons that Scorpion from Mortal Kombat uses without the rope or the chain attached to it. I've got quite a sword collection. What else? Baseball bats. Got this thing that Dale Brown and a bunch of people on the internet apparently think is too difficult to swing around. It's a whole 2 pounds. Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, you can't swing that fast and hard. That's physically impossible. But weapons are an interesting case because I would say the overwhelming majority of martial artists that acquire weapons, weapons enthusiasts, even people who take themselves seriously as weapons specialists, what most of us are is live-action role players. Yeah, live-action role players. And we usually associate those guys with, you know, the medieval fantasy weapons like an English broadsword or something like that. But, you know, guys who dress up in medieval armor look like something out of Skyrim. But for some reason, if the weapons are Asian in origin, then we tend to take ourselves way too seriously. Oh, I got a belt in this system where I wave this stick around and do my little stick dance. Take me very seriously. We are live-action role players for the most part. I mean, take the brass knuckles out, for example, right? How many of you own a pair of brass knuckles? Probably some of you, maybe a lot of you, I don't know. Okay. Now, out of those of you who own a pair of brass knuckles, how many of you have actually hit another human being with a pair of these? I'll level with you. I have not. That's a pretty horrific thing to do, to be honest. But I got them on my desk as a paperweight, because it's kind of fun. Mangling someone and tearing the flesh off their face with a chunk of metal in your hand, on the other hand, if you think that's fun, you got some issues that you need to sort through. So, live action role playing, that may sound pejorative. And if you're getting angry, Okay, good. Experience that anger. Go through it. Process it. And ask yourself, why are you feeling angry about it? Something about that resonate with you. You've spent all of this time telling yourself that you are a weapons specialist, when in reality, more often than not, most of us are weapons enthusiasts. We are collectors. We are hobbyists. And that's not wrong or bad. It might make you feel less manly if you told yourself this story, this narrative in your mind. I carry this weapon for self-defense. I carry it to protect my family and my loved ones. I carry it to protect my life. Just in case, I carry this to resist against corrupt governments like the Constitution says, or something like that. I don't know. Whatever reasons and stories people tell themselves to carry weapons, to buy weapons, to spend more money on weapons, but at the end of the day, most of us do it because it's fun. And they make neat paperweights on our desk or ornaments on our walls. And it's neat to do live action role-playing. Role-playing is fun, man. I mean, think about it. Well, The Elder Scrolls V, like the first of that very nerdy franchise that was really, really mainstream, and got a lot of people who weren't really interested in sword and sorcery fantasy stuff to pay attention and be like, oh, hey, you know what? Swords and magic and wizards and warriors and barbarians and stuff, that's actually kind of fun. I like pretending that I'm an orc battle mage or whatever your deal is. Because it's fun to play, it's fun to roleplay, it's fun to visit the neighborhood of make-believe once in a while, but you don't want to live there. Next question.